I think this, I was going to say this is a 32, but I guess it's a 33 because I saw, wait a minute, no, that says 53. 33. I guess it says 33. Maybe that's what that is. So, can't really tell, man. These were the ultimate cars back in the 50s, not the 55s and 56s and Chevys and the Mercurys. In the early 60s and the late 50s and the mid 50s, these were the hot rods. Nobody was buying it. The people that were buying those, you know, souped up 55 Chevys or something with a 283, they were getting, they were rich people. They were people that had money. The hot rodders were, this car obviously wouldn't have been like this perfect back then. Well, maybe, I don't know, who knows, maybe it would have been flat black. But this is a good kind of color to put on here, like that semi-gloss with the, this is the right way to do a car because you got the pinstripes on there, which offsets, gives a little flair to the paint, but you don't have to worry about the paint on this car, man, you know? And this thing's all set up for high RPM with that high rise manifold. And, you know, that keeps the fuel cooler. That's why almost all cars really back then, they should have, that's one thing I always liked about Dodge. They had the spacer with the, between the carb and the manifold. And also, the manifold was, they had like a windage, not a windage tray, but what the hell do they call that? It's like a little tray between the manifold and the block. Like Chevys used to cook off a little bit because, I mean, I don't like the Chevys, but the Chevys used to cook off a little bit because the fuel would get hot. And if you let it sit 30 minutes, it'd be kind of a bitch to start once in a while. Between that and the starter getting hot, Dodge had that little bit, like it was like a tray in there. And then the intake was over that, and there'd be a gap of about 2 inches between, or maybe 1.5 inches between the tray and the intake manifold, which kept the fuel cooler. See, back then, Plymouth, Dodge, and Chrysler were kick ass. And some idiot CEOs got in charge and they fuck them all up, you know. This thing I like because it's simple. See that? You gotta. Alright, it says it's a 33. Okay. So that is 33. It is a 33, so. It's got the crank out window. And yeah, man, you could crank out window like that. Crap, shit. You don't need no, you don't need no damn air conditioning. You know? What the hell you need air conditioning for? Even as long as you're moving. I remember like on that old 69 Roadrunner, I had those little wing windows, vent windows. You know, you're doing 10 miles an hour, so when you stopped, it sucked. And last night I put in my catalytic converter on the El Camino, probably like 1 o'clock in the morning or some shit. Except I got a leak in the heat riser. Kind of figured I had one there. So I'm going to get a heat riser bypass, but I ain't going to do that till later. This is nice. It's simple. I like this car. It's really done real nice, but it's not overdone. And that looks great with that chrome, or what do you call that, stainless steel panel back there on the firewall. Which, I don't think there's any heat in this thing or nothing. Manual brakes. You don't need power brakes with this shit. You got discs. This thing stops way better than it did when it was new, that's for sure. Suicide doors. Just if I ever get a new car, it's going to be one of these. Big old headlights.